Hello and welcome to another video from Eyes Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And it's Christmas morning. It's December 25th, 2024. And happy Christmas and happy holidays to everybody. And I do hope you're having a wonderful Christmas. Okay, those of you that have been watching the videos of the Advent calendar over the last 24 days, you've watched us build the USS Enterprise NCC 1701D. Which is what is on the right hand side. Now I just want to do an overview view of the whole calendar because I do think this was an absolute fantastic calendar, and it is worth it if anybody wants to thinks about getting an advent calendar for a friend or for a family member. Believe me, I highly recommend this particular one because I think it is absolutely fantastic. The quality of the product is brilliant. The build was very enjoyable, and the fact that there's no painting or gluing or anything like that to do made it just even greater. And the finished article is just fantastic and will be a lovely display piece for anybody's display. So before we actually have a look at the model itself, I'm just going to take you back and guide you through the actual calendar box itself. So you can see what we actually did and how we did it. Okay, so this was the box where all the components come in. And as you can see, you've got the images of the USS Enterprise on the front there, which is the front of all the drawers, which contained the boxes with your daily numbers on, and each day you open one for Advent. We come to that in a second, but let's just go over to the top of the box. Just move the box back a little bit. So there we can see the top of the box, and it says Star Trek Universe, countdown character, complete, or compete and rebuse, whatever that means. Packed with 24 pieces, build your very own 10-inch Starship Enterprise, piece by piece. And at the bottom it says USS Enterprise NCC 1701D, Star Trek The Next Generation, countdown characters. And you've got the countdown characters logo on the bottom right hand corner just here. Okay, so that's the top of the box. Let's turn the box around and see what we got on the back. Okay, so on the back of the box, again, was just the image of the Enterprise flying through space. And again, it's got Star Trek Universe, and you've got the warning and the choking hazards. Manufacturing distribution details, and the copyright information at the bottom, as well as the barcodes and the Star Trek The Next Generation logo. Okay, that's the back of the box. So let's just turn the box around to the side now and see what we got on the side. Okay, so this is the side of the box, and you see you've got an image of Captain Jean-Luc Picard as portrayed by Patrick Stewart. And it says, Starship Enterprise countdown character. The Starship Enterprise calendar is a fun way to get ready for the festive season. Packed with 24 pieces, build your very own 10-inch Starship Enterprise, piece by piece. Okay, that's the side of the box. Let's now, I think what we're going to do now, we're going to open the drawers. I'm going to take the drawers out one by one and show you the boxes and the pieces that was in each particular drawer. Okay, so I've removed drawer number 1, and there you can see the pieces that was in this particular drawer. So we had 13, 6, 5, 2, 9, and 4. So those were the days of Advent, and each piece we removed on those particular days of December to add to our build. So those were the boxes. Let's just turn them over, and let's see the images of the product, of the actual pieces on the back of the boxes. Okay, so as you can see on the back of the boxes, you can see what pieces we had. So that particular piece was the lower section of the main body. And this particular piece was the upper section of the hull, if you like. And then we had the upper section of one of the nacelles, and the top section of the stand, which was the gold section. One of the pieces that went onto the end of the nacelle, and we've got the upright stand for the ship to sit on. Okay, so that was the 6 pieces from drawer number 1. Let's put them back and let's have a look at what we had in drawer number 2. Drawer number 2, we had piece number 3, number 21, 7, 8, 12 and item number 1. And obviously, again, we opened them accordingly to the dates of December. So those are the 6 pieces in this particular drawer. So again, let's turn the drawer over and let's see what pieces were in them. Okay, so the first piece, this was the very first piece of the build, which was the lower section of the stand. And then on this particular one, this particular piece was the upper bridge section, right at the very top there, and that sat on top of the saucer. This particular bit was the Delta badge of the stand, which was the gold section of the stand. Oh, sorry, the silver section of the stand, I should say. And then, of course, we had the lower section of one of the nacelles, the upper section of the nacelle, and that's another lower section of the nacelle. So 2 lower pieces of the nacelle in that particular drawer. Okay, that's drawer number 2. Let's put those away and let's have a look again at drawer number 3. Okay, so in drawer number 3, we had again another 6 pieces. So you had item number 20, 16, 14, 23, 15 and 18. I can tell you now 20 was the part of the saucer section. I think that was probably the lower section of the saucer. But anyway, let's turn the box over, flip them over, and let's see what was actually on these particular boxes. Okay, so I've turned them over, so you can see that there's tick 1. It wasn't the lower section of the saucer; it was the upper section of the saucer. This particular piece was one of the engine, right-hand engine that went onto the lower section of the saucer. This particular piece was one of the caps that went on the end of the nacelle. This particular piece was the lower section that went underneath the saucer section. This particular piece, again, was the little orange bit that went on the end of the nacelle. And this one here was the end cap, the red cap that went over the end of the nacelle. We'll see those in more detail once we have a look at the model itself. Okay, that was drawer number 3. Let's now put those away and let's have a look at what was in the final drawer, drawer number 4. Okay, so this is the final drawer, and again it contains another 6 pieces. So 6 pieces in each drawer, which is obviously the 24 days of Advent. So this one, for each Advent day, you had day number 17, 11, 19, 22, 24 and 10. Obviously 17 is the other half of the saucer section, and the smaller boxes are smaller pieces which went on to the ship. Okay, let's turn the boxes over and let's see what was actually inside these boxes. Okay, so you can see that the top section, the top one, was the lower section of the saucer. You can see how it just clipped on to the hull there. It fitted on there. This piece was again one of the caps for the end of the one of the nacelles. This particular piece was the deflector array, which sat in the centre of the ship. I think that was a final piece actually. And this particular section was a very top section of the bridge. This particular one was the left engine on the lower section of the saucer. And this particular one was the final red cap on the left-hand, on the left-hand side nacelle. Okay, that is all 24 pieces that was contained inside this particular Advent calendar. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to actually have a look at the finished article. So let's have a look at the Enterprise D itself. And here we have the built Enterprise, the final built in all its glory. And I've got to say, it was an absolute pleasure to build. Although I did get a little bit frustrated at times when it was only a small piece that I was fitting on one day and I had to wait for the next day. So building the nacelles was the most frustrating part of that, because each nacelle contained 5 pieces, so 10 days on just constructing the nacelles. But I understand at the end of it, each piece has to go on, and you get the good pieces, the good, nice big pieces, which shows the model come on supremely well, and you also get the smaller pieces, which you have to put on to complete the model and make it look very, very good. So this is the Enterprise, and as you can see, I'm just going to actually remove it from the stand so we can have a good look at the ship itself. So this is the underside of the model, as you can see. And you can see all the detailing and the markings of the ship. It is just done so beautifully. And the fact that there was no gluing to do, no painting, no stickers to stick, it was just done for you to just attach everything to, and it all clicked in so nicely where you can barely see any joins. It's a tiny little join you can see at the front there, but other than that you barely see any areas of the joins. It's such a lovely model and really went together very, very nicely. I mean, you can glue it if you wanted to. I personally didn't see the need to because it just looks so good, and if I wanted to take it apart and put it back into the boxes, I do have that option, although it won't be easy because some of these parts are quite tight to put together, so they don't come apart. And there we see the top of the model, and again in all its glory, beautiful designed and looks great. I mean, you don't have to stand it on the stand either. You could string it up and display it through the air, dangle it with a little bit of fishing wire to make it look like it's in flight. Yeah, I mean, it's just an incredible model. Personally, I will probably keep it on the stand, I think, because I've got the perfect spot for it to go, and it will go inside my display, and it will take pride and joy for a while, probably until we get another build like this maybe next year. So size wise, let's have a good look at the size. It said it's 10 inches. So are we looking at 10 inches? Well, that's exactly what we are looking at. It is 10 inches long, which is about 25 and a half centimeters in length. So exactly what it says on the tin is exactly what it is. If we measure across the saucer section, we're looking at about 7.5 inches, which is about 19 centimeters. And if I measure, let's measure from the base to the saucer, the lower section of the base, we're looking at about 10 centimeters. So it stands about 10 centimeters high. So what can I say? Overall, it is just an incredibly marvelous model. Probably one of the best advent calendars that I think I have seen and put together over the years of doing these advent calendars for you at Christmas. We have done some notoriously bad ones in the past. The Eagle Moss ones always stick in my mind as being a complete wasted opportunity for them. But there we go, that's a different story. But this one, I can't rate it highly enough. If any of you need or thinking about an advent calendar for a family member for next year, this is the model to choose. It is fantastic, and it has been an absolute pleasure building this model and talking you through it and doing it on a day-to-day basis. I have thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. Okay, with all that being said now, there's not a lot else I can say on this, but other than to say I'm hoping you have a fabulous Christmas and enjoy the festive season with your family and friends. And I do wish you a very wonderful and prosperous new year. And thank you for all your support over the years and for your continued support going forward. We will continue to upload quantities of videos on a weekly basis. As I say, thanks for your support. And as long as you're supporting us, we're supporting you. We will continue to upload videos, as many as we possibly can do in the time allowed. Okay, have a wonderful Christmas, fantastic New Year, and we will see you again in 2025. All the best.